Before we continue, let's do one little cleanup. So here we have the collection trim. We can remove this Boolean modifier, switch this to collection, and have trim simply selected. So everything what I do to this collection then will be automatically visible here. Okay, let's save. We make a new collection. Let's call this chair 2. There we are. I turn all this on, press A, and then I say Shift D and escape so I don't move anything. M, move it to chair 2. Very good. This now I can hide. I don't need it anymore. Here I will add a new collection. Call this trim 2, and then here these two. For the moment I park there and turn this off, and also here I will turn this off for the moment. Okay. I will introduce you now to something that's called subdivided surface modeling. For blocky design, Blender or polygon modeling in general is super superior than more elaborate other work, because when I can exploit out of cubes, nothing is as fast. But this is then more something that is a study, like a sketch, and I still have to rebuild something. With subdivided surfaces, that is a type of geometry which we can start in Blender and then move over to Fusion and finish it in Fusion. That's one of the main reasons why I'm also promoting this workflow of multi-applications instead of only focusing on one CAD application. So what is subdivided surfaces? Let me ideally best show you it. We go into edit mode, go to wireframe mode, then I press Ctrl R, go here to this one edge, left mouse button click and escape. You see now here we have something going on. So the bevel command is, it does not use the edge weight which I defined. Very good. So not much really changed, but check this out now. We will add a subdivision surface modifier now. When we do this, look at what happened. The whole thing shrank maybe a little bit, looks rounder. Let's add more levels. Viewport and render 3 is fine. And when we zoom in a little bit more, you notice that it's not just flat, it actually turned into butter that's melting a little bit. In our case, we want to round the surface, and then we want it to smooth, and then we want to thicken it. So we click and drag this to there. Then now you can see this effect. I do not want this at the moment to round as that much. So let's go to edit mode. Edge select, wireframe mode. Then I select all these outer edges and then give this a mean crease. Crease, well, like the name says, creasing, if you crease a folded piece of paper, you sharpen that edge. Here it's the same one and enter, and you see now it's tight right onto the edge. Very good. And now what we will do is the corner points we will move away, and then we will get a really nice soft representation. So vertex select these two, move this forward, but not actually the point in the center. There. You see, that looks pretty cool. So this is not something like bevel, or well, maybe it is something like bevel, but it just applies to the whole object. Everything will be rounded. Okay, let's undo this. Go back to here, because I want these points to really go up perpendicular to this face. And we'll show you how we'll do this. Edge select. Then we will go to normal. Pay attention to what will happen to the 3D widget. You see now how this is aligned. And this orientation I can copy. So I make myself a custom orientation. There it is. This I can give a name. Backrest 100 degrees. Backrest, not neck rest. Okay. When I go now to point select and select these points, you see how this continues this orientation. If I go to normal, there you see how this is not what I want. I select both, and then I can move this a little bit forward. Pretty cool, isn't it? Also here, if I want, I could move this a little bit back. So I give this whole design more of an interesting curvature. Maybe a little bit lower. There you see how this is all flat, and then it starts rounding and is rounded there too. Okay. Let's say this backrest we want not to be so straight. We want to bend it more. Well, we can do this. However, to be able to do it, we need to have more points. So again, Control R. Then we go with with the mouse, we go into this edge, not this. Click, and maybe somewhere where the lumber support should be. There we are. We can select this if we want to, and move this to there, or we simply eyeball it. Now we can just move stuff around a little bit. Pretty cool. Now you see how it's nice and flat. Here the center it goes down already. Then for our hip, lumbar support, and then it goes to the top. Okay. And this is essentially what the subdivision surface is doing. The real geometry is just this blocky stuff. And the subdivision, the more we add to it, the smoother it gets. And for Blender, when we work there, a value of 3 is totally sufficient. We don't really need more. This is fine. This is pretty good. Let's go to edit mode back. By the way, switching between edit and object mode is just the tab key. Can select this, go to wireframe mode. I want to clean things up a little bit. So this is the center point. Move this maybe to there. B, drag over all points in wireframe mode. Maybe I would like this to be a tick more pronounced. Or less. When I add another loop cut, Control R, click and then slide this down, you can see how this actually straightens. See this? So 2 points together will also crease a curve. I will go into this a little bit more at one point. Maybe we could Control R, add to loop cut there, push this to there. So you see how I'm styling the whole chair more to my liking. Okay, that's actually pretty nice. Okay. To cut these openings in there again. We can turn this on. Okay. That's interesting. There you see a little bit of an artifact. So let's turn this off for the moment. Turn this on. Yeah, and there we see what's going on. Let's go to our side view, wireframe. And this is still pretty good for the orientation, so we don't have to rotate this more. This is all good. You noticed that actually with the subdivision surface modifier on, and then commands like Boolean modifier, the processing time takes longer. No, that actually should be right. Why is this happening? You see here this artifact? That shouldn't be there. Oh, interesting. You notice what's going on? This is moved away and you still see this hole. This is because this object has this Boolean modifier, but uses trim 2 for the collection. There. I mean, it uses trim 1. It needs to use trim 2. There. Now this works correct. Okay. Very good. Let's save all the time so we don't lose our geometry. So far this actually looks really nice. One thing what else could we do to refine this? For example, how do we put something between there at the center? That could be an interesting exercise. So I go to a side view. We know this is roughly 0.75 inches, so the legs. So we go add cube, 0.75, 0.75, 0.75. Very nice. Go to the front view. Can move this one up. Go to the side view, wireframe. Bring this maybe here to there. Okay. Let's say we make this a tick smaller. There. Okay, this is good. We want to create kind of like an arc that connects these two legs together, and then the shell can rest on it. For the moment, I will hide the shell, so we just can focus on this object here. We go into edit mode. I turn edge length off. Then I will do the following. Control R. Click on this edge. Left mouse button, click escape. Select my left points, X and delete. Select my right points. Go to this view, move this over, snap it to there. And then I will add a mirror modifier along the y-axis, but not x. There we are. See, pretty cool. Now we can show actually this object again. Rotate our view and in edit mode, here I go to X-ray mode. Select all these points. I can move this down, turn this X-ray mode off, and try to bring this up or down. And as you can see, it looks not very good. I want ideally this piece to follow my shell nicely. So we will do the following. We know that in view and view region, clipping region, I can do a clipping of that geometry. Now I can see how this pipe relates to the top part. Also, because of the color, everything being gray, this is difficult to read. Let's go to here, viewport shading, and turn on random color. That's a lot easier now to read. Okay, very good. Instead of being this triangular, I would like this to be more round. So we will, there are two ways now what we can do. We could add a subdivision surface modifier, or we could add a bevel modifier. We will use the bevel modifier. So in object mode, we go in. This is kind of like okay. And this mirror modifier, I would like to apply. When I click apply and then go into edit mode, press A, you see I have a whole object again. I zoom to the center, AA, deselect everything, hold the Alt or Option key, not key, and the left mouse button click on this edge. That selects then the loop. And we simply give this a mean bevel weight. Then we go to bevel, just the weight, and nothing happens. Well, that is because this object has a scale factor. Yes. So in object mode, apply the scale. There we are. Here you can see how big this actually is. Multiple cuts. Okay, now so far that is fine. If we now want to bring this a little bit lower, we go into edit mode and we can simply drag this down, and then there you can see how the center point goes down and the bevel command just rounds that sharp corner there in between. And sometimes here with one, then there I can see where's my actually the end of my rounding. It's right there and there. And then I can add more into it. This looks good. Okay. When this would be bent, ideally this would be a circular bend, and the fillet is a great circular, or is a tool to make a circular bend. Very good. Then we can go to View, View Region. Click on this so we get out. Then we can go to this view, Shift D and Escape. Bring this over to here. Zoom in. Alt B is the command for the region clip, or you use the menu. Let's go to this view with the selected edit mode, and there we see this has to go down really a lot. Maybe we change the radius a little bit there. Okay. So if we would give this an engineer, they would understand what we are trying to do here, because the shell goes down. This part needs to be a little bit more arced. In the front less. And then this is all square tubing, and we weld this together. To bring this part to an end, also here, for this and this object, right-click Shade Smooth, and then go to here, hold the Alt or Option key, click Outer Smooth, and then it adds it to all objects at the same time. And can go back here also to material, AA. There's just our more refined object. And you see, very easy principles to turn something from this with a little bit of modeling to something more interesting like this.